Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Wild Dog from DC comic books. And once again, you mother MFs just love to be damn hard-headed, don't you, writers? I mean, how many times have fans or other people inside the industry or outside the industry been saying the disrespect for comic book characters is at an all-time high, and you fools keep doubling down on it? Where are the editors? Where is the leadership at the big two? To be honest, the stuff that's getting passed through the big two is trash, and it's getting to the point where now you got people calling people out for it. So of course you have Suicide Squad. So of course Suicide Squad Get Joker. Well, it's a mini series and it's featuring Wild Dog. And of course, if you guys know, Wild Dog was on the Arrowverse, right? So if a lot of you guys are familiar with Wild Dog, he's kind of like the everyman character. But Wild Dog creator slams DC portrayal of his character as an insurgent. So basically, what's going to happen? I mean, is an insurgentist. I'm getting tongue tied. Sorry, guys. But Wild Dog co-creator slams DC over its upcoming Suicide Squad miniseries that features Wild Dog as a January 6th Capitol insurgents. And then that's my thing. Why the is we talking about the Capitol insurgents in a DC comic book? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Nobody cares. Your readership do not care about the Capitol building being attacked on January the 6th. I'm sorry. We've lived the history. We've seen it. We've seen it. That doesn't mean I want to relive it in a comic book or I want a comic book to talk about it. I'm sorry. No. Enough of bringing in certain real world events. I'm not saying it can't be a backdrop or whatever, but now you're adding a character and now you're trying to say that Wild Dog was one of those people that would lead people into the Capitol to attack the Capitol building. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit, DC. What the hell is wrong with you? No, seriously, what is literally wrong with you? It's trash. Trash is what you guys are delivering. The disrespect for these characters is at an all-time high, and I'm sick of it. People are sick of it. Some of the media is turning against you guys, and all you guys think to do is double down on it even more. Please make that make sense, because it doesn't make sense. Why do that? Why do something so stupid? All of these writers, and then my thing is, Brian Azzarello, your ass been around for a while, so you should know that people don't like when you disrespect these characters and change them like that. Because I'm not saying you can't add changes to characters. I'm not saying you can't challenge the characters. But when you're trying to preach a message and using the character as a mouthpiece, something is wrong with that situation. Enough is enough. Why? And then my thing is, why you couldn't just create you already created original characters for this series any damn way, right? So why the hell are you not using your original characters? It's funny. It's funny that you took somebody else's character that they created for DC comic books and decided to let them be your political mouthpiece. But you couldn't take your own original damn characters and make them look like the bad guys or whatever and stuff like that. Nah, you too scared for that. You too much of a bitch boy to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I called you out. You got a problem with it? Go ahead and whine about it. You know what I'm saying? But it is funny that you do have original characters that are supposed to be featuring in this miniseries, and you decided to take Wild Dog, and was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Wild Dog was attacking the Capitol and he shitted on Nancy Pelosi's desk? No, especially, and then once again, this character has already have a fan base already. He was heavily featured in Arrow, So people already aware of this character. They already know that this character wouldn't act like this. I'm not saying that. I mean, I haven't read the character that much. I think I like read like two comic books featuring him or whatever. But from what I'm seeing from what I read in the comic books and what I read in what I've seen on Arrow, I don't think that the character would really be doing that. If anything, he'll be trying to stop the riot or whatever and stuff like that, because he's still supposed to be some kind of hero. So Wild Dogs co-creator Terry Betty slams DC Comics for its upcoming Suicide Squad Get Joker series, which depicts Wild Dog as being one of the insurgents who took part in the January 6th Capitol insurrection. Bleeding Cool posted a number of panels from Brian Azzarello and Alex Maneki project, which shows the Suicide Squad paired with Red Hood to hunt down the Joker to finally make him pay for his crime. And Wild Dog is available to be part of the Suicide Squad because he was in prison for being arrested at the Capitol insurrection. I mean, couldn't you just have figured out a better way of getting him arrested? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, so he was a. I mean, I don't know if they're going to show it or whatever, but it's just kind of weird that you thought that this would be a good idea to bring the character in for being like, hey, yeah, I was part of the insurgents and I also shitted on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Like, okay, um, let's see. In the leaked panels, Wild Dogs even brag about defacing the desk of Speaker of the House. He also said stuff like garbage that has been happening in this country. It's all fucking lawless, and all the while we're being regulated to think. Betty co-created Wild Dog with writer Max Allan. Collins shared his displeasure his with this new take on his creation on Facebook page. This is not Wild Dog Max Allen and I created. We both angered and applaud at the offensive and out of character rework of our hero. Yes, he was a vigilante. Yes, he was a gun nut, but he wasn't a conspiracy theory idiot or a leader of a mob. That's blatantly disregard and disrespect of for the creator, and the intent is a slap in the face of both of us. And he's right. He's right, because that's what's going on. These writers come in nowadays especially in today's comic book realm, and they literally ignore the history of these characters. And instead of understanding who these characters are first before you decide to bring them into the story, you have to twist them around in order to fit the story that you want, instead of trying to twist your story to fit around the characters themselves. You're always trying to, if it's not Wild Dog becoming insurgents, it's trying to justify Harley Quinn trying to be a hero again. If it's not that, it's justifying Clark Kent's abandonment of America, or his revealing of the secret identity, and Lois secretly keeping secrets from him or whatever and stuff like that, or is Batman losing his millions? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you kidding me? What are we doing? Stuff like that doesn't work or whatever. And when you do these horrible changes, you make it where the characters are literally unmarketable anymore, or where people don't want to read them anymore. Like, look at the X-Men. The X-Men has been a hot trash fire that I don't even know if they can recover from without retconning all of the stuff that's happened with them. It's weird. A lot of the characters are so out of character, and they're all twisted around just to fit some writer's agenda, instead of actually writing the characters to how they're supposed to be written. It's it's so disrespectful and it's so wrong, and I don't understand why DC and Marvel constantly allow this to happen. People have been calling you out. Fans have been calling you out. The media, some of the media has been calling you out. Some of the people who used to work for you has been calling out, and you guys still think it's cute or whatever. No, it's not. It's not a small amount of a small minority of people that are upset. It's a large vocal minority, and they've been showing you that they are upset with the sales of these books that haven't went nowhere. You know what I mean? And then he also talks about the CW version of Wild Dog, which is portrayed by Hispanic actor Rick Gornez as being a particular reason the artist thinks that this is particularly a bad idea. It seems additionally insulting considered the positive portrayal of Wild Dog, a person of color on the CW Arrow TV show, to make him the leader of a mob of racist violence, more moronic goons, pretty much destroys any possibility of the future of him being an actual hero, vigilante or not. And he's right. He's right. Like, people don't realize when they twist these characters, when they twist a lot of these superhero characters or characters in general, they don't understand that there are ramifications to that kind of stuff, because now the public will see these characters in a certain kind of way, or because they get such a backlash, the character might not be used again. So like right after this storyline, the backlash for this character might be so crazy that DC might actually have to permanently kill the character off or never use the character again, even though the character has a good resurgence thanks to Arrow. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird that you guys would sit up there and think that you need to take one of your vigilante characters and make him go so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand that this was a despicable villain character, then by all means go for it. But you're taking a vigilante character who's supposed to be a hero, in all intents and purposes, still a hero. He's still on the side of good. He just does it to the most extreme or whatever, stuff like that. But to sit up there and tie him to assaulting the Capitol just doesn't look right for the character. I mean, it's just something that I just can't believe. You know, DC would sit up there and approve of this nonsense, and that's the sad thing right there, because it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, how does this help the character? What message are you trying to send for the character? And I'm not saying that it's probably a big part of the story, but you're adding it to the history of the character when it's not needed. That's the major problem, is you're retconning to reaffirm this history of this character that was never there to begin with. And it's so annoying. It's super, super, super annoying that it frustrates me to no end. It really does. I get really annoyed with this kind of nonsense. Like, we just talked about, stop putting political messaging or whatever into the character. And I know, and I'm not saying that the book is going to cover it. I'm not saying that the book might not be good or anything. What I'm saying is, why take a character like that and disrespect the character and maybe the fans of the character, just to, what, prove a point? Well, I'm in jail because, blase blase. How about just Amanda Waller wanted to use him and found some dirt on him or whatever, stuff like that? He don't need to be in jail for that. Just have him, like, hey, if you don't do this, your daughter will be in danger or something like that, or somebody he cares about, or the building or the job or something that he works at or whatever, and something like that. And Amanda Waller convinces him, hey, join the Suicide Squad to, get whatever this is clear off your plate or whatever. It's not like there hasn't been heroes that have been on the team before, but don't do it in a manner where it insults the character, insults the reader, annoys the reader, and insult the creators of the characters, especially when they're still around and alive. And I understand that the creators don't have much say on what they can do with the characters, but at some point, you guys got to keep these characters consistent, and that's the problem. Y'all don't want to keep them consistent. It's like these new writers think that they're the only ones that are going to be writing these characters after they go, like they're the end all be all to these characters, but they're not. They didn't even create them. They didn't put the hard work. They didn't put the heart, sweat, and tears into these characters or these stories. Other people did. And for you to disrespect them just to try to prove some kind of theory or just to do some cool meta commentary isn't cute and it's not funny. It really isn't. Enough using characters as mouthpiece. Enough disrespecting the history of these characters and the history that people left behind for these new writers. I mean, not even just new, there are some old writers who are working right now that does the same bullcrap that Brian Azzarello is doing, where you're taking a character for some years and all of a sudden you're changing them drastically or adding something drastically to their background that nobody asked you for. I mean, for God's sakes, they're trying to give Tim a damn sister. I mean, not Tim. They're trying to give Dick Grayson a goddamn sister that nobody asked for and makes no damn logical sense. But they're still going to try to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's double down on the nonsense. Like, okay, sure, it's crazy. I just really wish you guys wouldn't do that kind of stuff, you know? But those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys